Hey, before the video starts, I just wanted to give you guys a heads up that this video is going to focus a lot around DSP eating a sandwich. So if you're somebody who doesn't like to watch somebody eat or can't deal with the sounds of somebody eating, maybe this video isn't for you. I'm still going to try and add a little bit of commentary to it. I'm going to try and do everything that I can to make it tolerable. But I did want to take a look at it because this is the most interesting thing that DSP did during his Adpocalypse event. And I think it really captures a specific segment that DSP does in its full glory. So I apologize for all of the eating sounds that you're going to wind up hearing. But let's get into the video.
So, are you guys ready? Shall I just begin? Is everyone here? You guys here? What's going on? You quiet? Why are you so quiet? What's going on? Everyone speak up immediately. I want to hear everyone speak.
Starting this clip off, obviously, with DSP being as obnoxious as possible. Asking for your audience to chat on your command is akin to asking a dog to speak, as far as I'm concerned. And you really shouldn't be treating your audience like that. If they want to talk, they'll talk. And I don't blame them for not talking in DSP's chat, because he rules the thing with an iron fist. If you genuinely like being in his chat, it's probably within your best interest to not talk while he's gone or while he's going to get his food or something. Because heaven forbid you talk about something that's not directly DSP related or related to the content that you're actively watching, which at the time is nothing.
I say here. I can't hear a single one of you. I want to see you speak and see that you guys are here. The stream's working, right? Everyone's down. Everyone's awake. Everyone got so quiet. I sat down. No one said a word.
No, DSP, everybody fell asleep. Your content was that boring that literally every single person on your stream has fallen asleep at this point, and they're not going to respond to you.
What is this? You hear a mouse sneeze in here.
The only reason that you can hear a mouse sneeze where you're at, DSP, is because you live in the Snort Fort and you've probably got some pretty fat mice living around in there. Just based off how you describe the place to us. Because that's all we have to go off of. But you don't exactly paint the Snort Fort in a very positive light.
Okay. People are starting to talk? Alright, good. So, what I'm about to taste, test, and or eat is something that actually people have brought up over the years. Okay? And it's something that has been recommended to me, actually, over the years. But I never tried it. So let me start recording and explain. All right, here we go. Hello, everyone.
Be prepared to be completely let down by this, because it's not something that's actually interesting at all. But you gotta love the unrecorded hype segment, followed immediately by the turning on of the YouTube voice, which of course he immediately uses to start yelling at the beginning of his video. Because that's what everybody loves when they turn on a video, is that you immediately start yelling at them.
First of all, happy holidays, as today is Black Friday 2023, and today, during a live marathon stream, I'm going to partake in some food, the likes of which I've never tried before. This will be my genuine first time tasting something that has been recommended to me for many years. In fact, since I actually moved out here to Washington State, I've been asked many times about favorite foods and favorite things to try. I used to have a series called DSP Tries It, where I would try a bunch of foods and things like that. I was, doing Feasting with Phil videos.
Hearing him talk about all of the food content that he's made in the past really makes me realize just how much of it he's done. Like, obviously, I remember DSP Tries It, right? Everybody remembers the classic DSP Tries It. It's one of those pieces of content that he did that's so bad that it's at least worth the watch because it makes you laugh. But hearing him actually say the name of Feasting with Phil, it just has no charm to it. It doesn't have a catchy jingle. It doesn't sound very fun and positive and meaningful curated style, if you ask me. But I guess that's just to keep up with the quality of the actual video that it's gonna be, because DSP is never actually trying anything interesting and new and fun anymore, because he's not checking out the new interesting fast food gimmick that's come out that people are talking about on the internet. He's always just trying some run-of-the-mill thing that's been in his area for ages that he's just never tried before, which, while I'm sure is interesting for him because it's always interesting to try new food, it's not exactly something that I think that most people are interested in at all. And inevitably, he's just gonna wind up saying that the food is very tangy and robust and meaningful, which, if that's actually how you feel about the food, that's fine. I don't really care. The problem is you describe every piece of food that you eat like that. It's not interesting at all. And that's the problem with this content, is that it just doesn't hold anybody's interest. There's nothing new to be gained from watching it. You're just watching this old man eat like a slob. But really, that's all the spectacle that we need, so we're gonna continue on now.
And basically everyone's like, what about this thing? What about this? I was like, oh, I never heard of it. I never seen it or anything like that. After years of you guys actually bringing it up, all right, I finally did a little bit of searching. And what I found out is that this place actually is near me, but not really near me. What I mean by that is, if I were to order from it, it takes a little while to get here because it is further out. But that there is one of these nearby that I could order if I wanted to. I probably wouldn't drive all the way out there.
So just like always, DSP cannot be bothered to go get his own fast food. Of course, he had to get it DoorDashed, which means that he paid an exorbitant amount in delivery fees. Because of course he did. DSP's never done anything frugally in his entire life. What makes you think that he would bother go getting his own food so he doesn't have to pay a delivery fee? Because of course he did. So not only is this man who comes on stream every day begging for a handout wasting his money on overpriced food, but he's also wasting his money on an overpriced delivery fee because he can't be bothered to get it himself. This is truly Phil master of business Burnell at his finest.
And being that this is going to be something that I wanted to do, you know, for a marathon, something different and new, you guys recommended, I said, now's a good opportunity to try it out, all right? So, ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to try, you're going to see, we're like, oh yeah, people recommended that all the time to Phil, right? Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to do something interesting. Today we are going to try, ready for this? Firehouse subs.
For all my audio style listeners, of course, he just held the box up to the camera so that you could vaguely make out the word Firehouse Subs that's printed on the box. It looks just as regarded as you might be imagining, so don't even bother opening up to see the video, it's not that important. So yeah, the super interesting thing that everybody has been telling him that he needs to try is just another sandwich shop, which obviously he was interested in. As much as he talks about sandwich shops, he probably jumped at the opportunity.
Yes, there actually is one out here, but it's like almost 45 minutes away. Okay, so that's why I've always been apprehensive about doing anything or trying or anything. Okay, so take a look. First of all, this is a large sub. Look at the size of it. It's a full foot, right? And it is huge.
Well, you just said that it's a full foot. That isn't any different than you would get a foot long at Subway, is it not? It's just another foot long sandwich. They might have packed it full of shit. It might be a whole lot thicker, but I'm not able to tell that through the box, dog. You got to open it up. Just looking at the box, it looks like a normal foot long sandwich.
And in its own like cardboard protective shell to make it so that it can't really be messed up, right?
And he's doing this like it's some sort of unboxing. Like, look, it comes in its custom cardboard shell. Like, dude, it's just how they package their food. And in all honesty, that's probably worse than just wrapping up the sandwich because the food has more like room in there to slide around and get messy. Whereas when you actually wrap it up, it kind of compresses it and keeps it all held together. But of course, DSP loves that it came in its own cardboard shell. He can just throw that right into the styrofoam pile in the garage from all the other DoorDash remnants that he's got left over. It'll be just another one for the pile.
It's kind of interesting. I never really seen a sub shop deliver a sub sandwich like that to you in like a shell, right? So you would think at least the sub should be intact, even though it took quite a while to get here, right? It should be pretty intact. Now they have a ton of different Firehouse subs at this place. They have all kinds of lunch meats and deli meats, you know, ham, turkey, salami, pepperoni, roasted beef, what do you call it, bacon. You can also do like chicken, that kind of stuff, and all these different variations.
I hope all of you ate lunch today already and you're not currently waiting for your lunch break or something, and this is probably making you hungry, in which case I apologize. But DSP, the king of wasting time, the king of over-explaining things that nobody needed explained, really thought it was necessary that he run down all of the meats on the menu that you could get on a sandwich, as if it was actually anything out of the ordinary that a normal sandwich shop wouldn't also have on their menu. There's like 5 different chains around my area that do sub sandwiches, and all of them have all of those meats. It's nothing special, and one of them is in fact a Firehouse Subs. It's like saying that you got pizza somewhere and then running down the list of all of the things that you could get on the pizza. They got pepperoni, they got green peppers, they got mushrooms. Like, yeah, dude, we get it. They do pizzas. Why are you telling me all the things? Unless you're gonna tell me something that most pizza places, or in this case sub sandwich shops, don't do, why are you telling me?
So you can get like Chipotle, you can get all these, they have meatball subs, they have tuna salad, they have these different melts, all these, I'm telling you, a huge menu and a lot of different variations that they do, okay?
Okay, sounds good, DSP. And I do mean that, it does sound good, but I do want to run that back real quick so that we can all hear him say Chipotle sauce.
So you can get like Chipotle, you can get like Chipotle, for what I'm to understand, the thing that makes them stand out is their bread is like super duper good, and they load their sandwiches. Unlike a lot of other places that can skimp, like this place apparently really goes to town when they load up a sandwich. I can tell you, this is heavy. This is not a light sandwich at all. This is the large size, and it is a heavy, heavy ass sandwich, okay? So, hoping it's gonna have a lot of meat and food on it, all right?
Well, DSP, how about instead of crafting your Theo theory on how thick you think the sandwich is based off of the weight it is in the cardboard box, you instead just open up the goddamn sandwich. We've been here for over 3 sped up minutes now, and all you've shown us is the cardboard box and tell us about the menu. This is what I was talking about earlier when I was talking about this just not being interesting. Who's coming here and wants to hear the rundown of the menu and wants to look at the box for 3 minutes? 3 sped up minutes. If that's what you were looking for, you could probably just go online and look at the menu and actually get a picture of the food while you're there. And you could do it all in less than 3 sped up minutes. You could probably do it in less than a minute if you really wanted to. But just like always, DSP drags out everything as far as he possibly can so that he doesn't actually have to do any of the content that he told people that he would do.
You might say, what did I get? Well, there's so many options. I had a few different ones I was looking at. I decided to get one. It's called the Firehouse Hero. All right? Now, I don't know if they mean hero sandwich or if they mean that this is a hero product. It's super good, like a superhero meal. I don't know what they're going for. Okay.
Well, DSP, in case you didn't catch the whole theming of the restaurant, it's all based around firefighting and firefighters. So some of the sandwich names kind of relate back to that. For example, there's another sandwich that's called the Hook and Ladder. So I would venture to say that if they're going to call the sandwich a hero sandwich, they're not talking about Spider-Man. They're probably talking about firefighters or first responders in general. And again, for the audio style listeners, I'm going to put up a picture and the description of the sandwich that he actually ordered because he kind of fumbles his way through it and he doesn't even know what cheese is on it. So I'm going to have it on the screen for everybody.
So it's supposed to have a combination of meats: roast beef, turkey, ham, some kind of cheese. I don't even know what cheese. I think maybe provolone or something. I don't know. And it's supposed to have all the stuff like lettuce, tomato, onion, salt, pepper, and all that stuff on top of it as well. Plus, I think it actually has mustard too. So it's like a fully loaded deluxe sandwich. Okay, we're gonna give it a look. You ready? People are like, "Why didn't you open it yet?" Because I'm talking. I'm gonna open. I swear to you.
But why couldn't you open the sandwich while you talked? Why couldn't, when you were talking about all of the things that were going to be on it, did you not already have the sandwich open and start showing it to the camera so you could say, oh, it has, all of these things, and you could point to them and show the cross section? Like a normal person would probably do if they're going to be talking about the food, they would go ahead and show it off at the same time. But for some reason, DSP insists on giving you the audio experience and then giving you the visual experience afterwards. He can't do them at the exact same time.
All right, so let's give it a look. Let's see. By the way, I think it has a pickle too, so I might want to take the pickle out. And I already got a plate because I think the feeling is going to be so big when I go to eat, it's going to go everywhere.
This wouldn't be a feasting with Phil if we didn't have a paper plate on standby, obviously. Because it's not bad enough that we already created trash getting it to you in this weird cardboard sleeve or whatever, but we also have to create more trash with a paper plate.
Let's see what it looks like live together. Already I see ham sticking out the side. Look at that bread. It's got like lines on top of it, right? It's thick. Oh, yeah. It's got like a harder, crustier outside to it. Sure it does. That's nice bread.
What a weird reaction to have to a sub sandwich. DSP is the only person that I know that's actually talking about the lines on the bread, tapping on top of it, and then going, oh yeah, that's nice bread. You can add this to the long list of things that DSP does that just makes me think that he's not human, because I've never seen another human being act like this about bread.
All I can tell you, it got some stuff on the edge here. It's all gooey. So they probably got some of the condiment or whatever it is accidentally on the end. And I see a ton of meat. Look at all the meat coming off the side there, right?
Oh yeah, DSP's real excited about the meat. Why do you think he pulls all them JPEGs?
That looks pretty dang good to me. I don't know about you guys. Looking at it from the other side, you can actually see some of the lettuce and tomato and other things in there. I'm trying to get it so the camera doesn't overexpose it, but the camera's going to overexpose it. There's not much I can do.
If you're really this concerned about whether or not the camera's gonna overexpose it and how it's gonna look, then why didn't you prep this beforehand and have a way for you to accurately depict what the sandwich was? Something even as simple as taking a picture of it on your phone and uploading it to your OBS and pulling it up on screen with the proper lighting on it from your good camera on your phone, instead of just holding it up to the webcam that you have like a bozo. I mean, I personally don't give a shit what it looks like, DSP. I don't care what you're eating. But if you're gonna sit here and act like you care about the presentation of the food that you're eating for your audience, then you should have went out of your way to make sure that was taken care of before we got to this point.
But it is loaded. Like, that is a loaded sandwich. Here, let me take half of it off and put it on the plate, and then we can get a better look at it. Okay? I don't even know how to do it without, like, it going everywhere. Here, I'll try this half. Oh, man. This is an interesting cross-section. Wait till I show you the cross-section of this sandwich, okay?
Are you guys excited? He's about to show you the cross-section. Wait till he shows you the cross-section. It's gonna be crazy. No idea why he has to pronounce it like that, but just be ready for the cross-section.
So I'm gonna put this half over here, and we're gonna look at this half here. So, when you talk about a cross-section of a sandwich,
I'm not gonna do it again, but definitely have to point out that he did it again. This dude can't say anything like a normal person at all. Everything's gotta be over-enunciated or completely slurred together and fumbled through. There's really no in-between with the guy.
You cut it in half, and you basically look down the middle, and you see, what can I see, right? And I can see turkey, I can see ham, I can see the roasted beef, I see lettuce, tomato, onion, and I can even see the melted cheese and the condiment on there. You see that?
Wow, crazy. He basically described everything that's on the sandwich he can see from the cross-section. It's almost like he's looking right down the barrel of the sandwich. And this is what he was hyping up. He was going to show us the cross-section, guys, and this is what we were going to look at. We're just looking at a sandwich here. This is really nothing extravagant whatsoever. It's just a sandwich. I don't know if he's just hyping it up because it's supposed to be some big event on that stream, or if he's just genuinely so delusional that he thinks that people care about his food like this.
It's hard to, and it's stupid overexposure. I'm sorry about that. If I hold it back, maybe you'll see a little better. See that? Look at those layers. That's a lot of meat, too. Like this, again, this is a hefty sandwich. I did tell them that I wanted the pickle, but I don't see it. I think I got cheated out of my pickle. Yeah. I do not think they put the pickle in there. I said pickle, they didn't give me a pickle.
And of course, DSP couldn't have one positive experience with the company. It's gotta turn into a classic DSP DoorDash experience where they obviously forgot something. I'm honestly surprised that DSP didn't go on to say that the DoorDash guy had an accent too, because I wouldn't put it past him, he's done it in the past.
So first off, before we even begin, it's already starting to fall apart, which I knew would happen if I held it long enough.
Well, maybe if you spent more time eating your food instead of playing with it, this wouldn't happen. I thought your mom would have taught you that, or you'd have learned that by now, being that you're 41 years old. But I gotta remind myself to keep my expectations for DSP very low, because even the basics, he just doesn't seem to have a grasp of.
We got some meat coming off the side. I think this is ham, so I'm just gonna tear some of this off. See? And I'm just gonna taste the ham. It's sweet. That's gotta be honey ham. Because that's a very sweet ham. It's not salty at all, actually. It's a very sweet ham. All right, well, this is going to be interesting to eat because it's going to go everywhere. You know once I start eating, it's going to explode. So let's just go. I'm going to take my first bite. Here we go. It's delicious. I tasted a ton of roast beef, which of course is salty and savory. And some of the sweetness, and I don't know if that was the ham. It could have actually been the condiment or whatever was on there. And just to show you guys, I just want you to look at the plate. There's moisture on the plate. Look at that. See that beads? That's moisture.
Dude, why are you holding your plate up to the camera like anybody cares? We get it, there's moisture on the plate. And it barely even comes through as moisture at all. It just looks like you dropped some lettuce, some crumbs, and a little bit of mustard on there. And I want to point out that anybody who actually just watched him take that first bite, DSP always looks like he's in pain while he eats, doesn't he? And it definitely doesn't help that he was eating the sandwich slightly off camera where you just couldn't see his mouth and the sandwich, so it looks like he was going down for something, you know?
That's beads of moisture that came out of the sandwich onto my plate. So this thing is incredibly moist and juicy and full of flavor.
Of course, it's very juicy, full of flavor, moist, robust, full of tanginess. You know, all of the things that DSP describes every single food as.
I like the bread because it's a harder on the outside side of bread. So it's easy to handle. But I do feel like if it wasn't delivered, see how it's soggy on the bottom? Basically, it got soggy on the bottom because I delivered it. I feel like if I got it fresh, it probably would have been much better. And there's nothing you can do about that. They're too far away from me to eat. I wouldn't even go there to eat. It's too far.
Isn't the outer side of the bread typically harder anyway, because that's just how sub-sandwich bread works? And yes, of course your bread is going to be soggy on the bottom. You've got this big, juicy, robust, flavored style sandwich sitting in this cardboard sleeve for 40 minutes while they delivered it to you. Even if it wasn't delivered and you went there yourself, if you let it sit in the sleeve long enough, of course it's going to be soggy. It's dripping and oozing everywhere. I really hope all of you are enjoying these words.
With some onion. Yeah, the bread is delicious. It's got all kinds of flavor in the bread. Because it's chewy on the outside, but kind of gooey on the inside because of all the condiments. I tasted some of the delicious onion. Yum. Let's keep going.
Thanks for informing us that you were going to continue to eat the food that you bought and paid for. Oh, guys, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep eating this food. Sick, dude. Thanks, I guess. But again, he can't manage to eat in frame. He's eating slightly out of frame, which just is the worst look for him. Why does it look like that?
It's provolone. It's definitely melted provolone on the sandwich. And there's a sweetness to it. And again, I don't know if the sweetness is the condiments or maybe it's the ham, but it has an innate sweetness to it. That's very good. It's very tasty.
Why is he trying to dissect which flavors are coming from what ingredient? Why doesn't he just describe the sandwich as a whole and tell us whether or not he's enjoying it and then just continue to eat the food? I've never really understood this spectacle that he makes around the food that he eats, because he does always try and dissect where the flavors are coming from. I don't know if he just thinks it makes him sound smart or if it makes him sound like he's some sort of food connoisseur of some sort, but I just find it obnoxious.
And the provolone is actually a really strong provolone flavor, too. It's not a mild cheese. It's actually quite powerful in there.
It's not too often that you hear somebody describe cheese as powerful. And I apologize if this is not the most entertaining video that I've ever made, but we are watching a 41-year-old man eat a sandwich. We're really here more for the spectacle. And as sad as it is to say, this is the most interesting that happened during his adpocalypse. All of those ads were boring as sin, and him eating this sandwich was pretty much the highlight.
It actually powers through the flavors of the meat. The one thing I would say I don't taste at all is turkey. I taste the sweetness of the ham, and I taste the very savoriness of the roasted beef, but I don't really taste turkey on this sandwich at all. Maybe they just didn't put as much. Could be. But it tastes great. Like, I have no complaints right now. Well, suffice it to say, I really like the sandwich.
Well, DSP, I'm genuinely glad that you enjoy the sandwich. I mean, you did pay for it, you did pay an exorbitant amount of money for it, so it's a good thing you like it. And I know I showed it on screen earlier, but if you were really wondering how much the DSP actually paid to have that sandwich DoorDash to him, they guesstimated it's about $50 just to get that sandwich. Yes, $50 for one sandwich to get DoorDash to his house. Somebody went on the DoorDash app, put in his exact order, and then came up with the total, and then he posted it to Ann so that Ann could show it off on stream. So just think about that the next time DSP is on stream crying poor and begging for more money and saying that he's not going to have enough to pay his 2 big bills. Just think about how he potentially spent $50 to eat one sandwich. You want to say something, DSP? People are going to start to think that maybe the video cut out or it paused itself or something. It's not exactly like dead air is good content anyway. You should probably start talking.
Spawn Killers, I should have gotten chips. Thanks for the super chat. I have chips if I want them. I'm not going to want them. I know. Big for it to have anything else with it. It's huge.
I mean, the chips would have been an additional $1.50 for that small bag, so I don't think that would have been worth it for DSP anyway. But he is aware that if the sandwich is really that large, he doesn't have to finish it, right? No one's forcing him to finish the sandwich. It is a foot-long sandwich. You know, and Ann pointed this out on his stream, so thank you, Ann, for pointing this out. I'll never be able to unsee it, and I'm gonna do that exact same thing to you guys. DSP does this weird thing when he eats where he, like, uses his tongue to push all of the food to the front and, like, rolls it over for some reason. So there's brief seconds where you can see all of the food just sticking out of his mouth. Just another strange thing that DSP does. Again, big ups for Ann for pointing that out.
You know, it's funny. The mustard is quite good, but I only taste it at, like, the very end of the sub. I didn't taste it anywhere in the middle of the sub, only at the very end. Like here. I taste it strongly on the butt end, but that's it.
Amazing insight, DSP. Thank you so much. Just a friendly reminder that this was the most exciting thing that happened during that entire event. Just a 41-year-old guy eating a sandwich.
Wow. That's superbly good.
Superbly good. So good, in fact, that he thought that he should quit all of the other things that he was doing so that you could just sit there and watch him eat for an entire segment. Because Lord knows that it's impossible to watch ads while you also eat food. And anybody that says it's possible to watch stuff and eat food at the same time, you're getting sent to ban world.
All the meat tastes great, like deli meat, high quality deli meat, not like a, you know, something that's refrigerated in the freezer or whatever. Or something like fresh cut at the deli. They packed it with meat. Like I said, my one negative there is that there wasn't enough turkey. I feel like there should have been more turkey. But it tasted amazing.
This guy cannot just say positive things. He has to include a negative every single time. The sandwich was apparently delicious. It was superb. But he just has to complain that there wasn't enough turkey on it. You've seen how much meat was on that sandwich. There was plenty enough meat, but there just wasn't enough turkey, dude. Come on.
And the condiments are good. The veggies taste fresh. The bread is really good. Having that thick cut and harder outer level of bread is incredibly good. It's not shitty bread like some of the other sandwich places have. And the sandwich is huge and loaded and packed. The one problem is the price. It's expensive.
Well, it's about on par with other sub sandwich shops if you didn't get it DoorDash, DSP. But like I said, you can't be bothered to get your own food. You're already eating fast food, but you can't even be bothered to go get it. That's just sad. And look, if you DoorDash every once in a while, that's fine. But DSP, you're a notorious DoorDasher.
So you'd have to expect if you're going to get a big sub there, you're going to pay a lot of money. But As long as you're looking for a really good meal, I think you're going to get it there. And by the way, since my nose was tickling me, I have to blow my nose. I'll be right back, quick, and we'll continue.
Speaking of that tickle in his throat, I wonder how much of that post-nasal drip went down his throat while he was eating that sandwich. Because he said before that anytime he eats, he's obviously got mucus running down the back of his throat. He loves his little green hors d'oeuvres.
Marvelous looking. Look at that. Now that's a cross section. You can see it pretty well there. Yeah, look at that. It's finally away from the camera. Look at that. The only problem is it's soggy on the bottom because it's been sitting in this box for a long time to get here. But it looks good, right? Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, look at that cross-section. That's what's up, Tubes. I don't know why, but for some reason the way he said that just reminded me of Cobra.
And the only thing I'm going to have today, later tonight, I'm going to have a piece of pie. That's it. Unless you guys get me drunk after this, which you very well could. I don't know. But, all right.
And this kept happening throughout the event as well. DSP was practically begging for people to make him take shots. He wanted to get drunk on stream. He specifically used the word drunk there. Despite all of the times that he said that he wasn't gonna get shit-faced or sloshed on stream, he's asking to get drunk. Like, dude, you're a grown man. If you want to drink at your event on your stream, you can feel free to do that. Nobody's holding you back. But it's kind of sad that you're asking your audience to just give you money so that you can drink, especially when you already have the alcohol.
See, this is what I was afraid of. This half is soggy on the bottom because it was sitting there in that container for a long time. And that's exactly what I was afraid was going to happen. Now it's completely sogged up. It's going to taste great, but it's mushy on the bottom, which really sucks. I'm glad I ate the other half first.
Well, you had that fancy-ass paper plate, DSP. Why didn't you just take both halves of the sandwich out and put them both on the paper plate so it didn't continue to sit in there and get soggier? I mean, if you just took the time to think about things, you'd find yourself in a lot better of situations. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to realize that if you don't want something to continue to suck up moisture, that you might want to remove it from where the moisture is.
Okay. I have to eat it like this over my lap. If I do it any other direction, it's going to go everywhere because it is completely mushy on the bottom. So honestly, I think the first half is going to be better than the second half.
And he's pretty much just outright complaining about it now. DSP, you don't have to eat it if you don't want to. If you're really that perturbed about it being a little mushy, then just don't eat the goddamn thing. Don't nobody want to hear all of that. It's just a sandwich. Eat it or don't. Shut up.
But again, I feel like it's not their fault. It's because they're so far away. If they were closer, it wouldn't have had time to soak in like this and become completely saturated.
He just can't be happy about anything, dude. The sandwich is good. He enjoyed eating it. And all of a sudden, the second half is a little wet. And all he wants to do is complain about it. DSP, it's your own fault. You're the one who wanted to get it DoorDashed from 40 minutes away.
Okay. I have an interesting suggestion.
Oh, I'm at the edge of my seat, DSP. What do you got for us?
When it comes to sandwich bread, traditionally, the top of sandwich bread is thicker, right? And tougher than the bottom.
All right, I'm following you so far. The top bread is thicker than the bottom, yeah?
The bottom usually ends up a little bit thinner, I would say, right? Why?
Because that's typically how the bread is cut? What's the question?
When you stack things on sandwich bread, all the weight goes to the bottom. And the condiments go down because of gravity and soak the bottom. So if you know that the top of bread is tougher, when you make a sandwich bread, why not bake it, cut it, flip it, and make the sandwich upside down?
So DSP's big idea is that instead of making a sandwich right side up, that you just flip it upside down. I mean, they could always just cut the bread in half a little higher than they usually do, that way that the bottom is thicker. I don't know why that wasn't his first idea if his problem was how thick the bottom piece is. My real problem with this entire idea is that the texture becomes different once you flip the sandwich over. For example, have you ever eaten a burger where you flip the buns upside down when there was very clearly a top bun and a bottom bun? Just something about it is off. I don't know, maybe I'm just a weirdo, but for me, that's not gonna slide. I'm not letting that happen.
If my sandwich was made like this, it probably wouldn't be soaked. The whole bottom wouldn't be saturated right now and spongy and wet. It probably would be fine. Right?
No, I would have to say that you would still be wrong because the top bun that then becomes the bottom bun is still going to be sat there in all of the juices and all of the moisture that's sitting in that cardboard sleeve. So it's still going to get soaked and soggy. I know that you think that you've done something here, you've big brained your way into improving your sandwich, but that's just not the case.
I mean, yeah, maybe we'd have to get used to eating sandwiches upside down per our own understanding of them. But I think that the sandwich would have come out much better that way. Right? I think it would have. Anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, it was kind of just a nonsense idea if you ask me. Not really something that needed to be thought through and figured out. How about just don't let your sandwich sit in a little cardboard sleeve for that long? Don't DoorDash from 40 minutes away. Problem solved, bozo.
Because it tastes great, but it's all over my hands. Firehouse subs, I recommend it. That is delicious. And I hope you enjoyed Feasting with Phil. I'll see you all next time. Peace out. Whenever that may be. It may be several decades down the line, but whenever I come back for Feasting with Phil, I'll be back to talk more about Firehouse subs. All right? Thanks. See you guys later.
Why would it be decades until he does another Feasting with Phil? That's so stupid. Why would he even say that? He eats on camera every single event. Every single marathon that he does, he winds up eating on camera. So I'm 100% certain he's going to wind up eating something for his Christmas marathon.
Okay, guys. So here's the deal. Let me go get rid of this. Let me go wash up because my hands are completely saturated in this condiments. My face has it all over my beard. Seriously. And I guess I'll brush my teeth. I have onion in my mouth now. So I guess I'll probably brush my teeth.
DSP is such a sloppy bitch. He can't even eat a sandwich without having to basically take an entire shower to clean up afterwards. He's got this shit on his hands, it's all in his beard, all over his face, and then he's got to brush his teeth afterwards because he's got onion flavoring in his mouth. Like anybody's gonna be able to smell his breath through the microphone or through the camera. Just take care of that after the stream. Clean your hands up, clean your face up, and then come back to the stream. Quit giving people dead air. Quit walking away from the camera for extended periods of time if you don't have to.
And then I'll come back and then we'll talk about, or maybe do a poll for what we want to do next. I'm okay with more ad reacting. I'm okay with Modern Warfare. I'm even okay with Street Fighter, whatever you guys want. We have about 2.5 to 3 hours. Let me go take care of that. I'll be back in like 5 minutes and then we'll continue. Thanks, guys. And by the way, if we hit $200 in tips, I'll take another shot. If you guys want to see me tipsy, I'm just saying. Okay. All right. By the way, when I come back, that may change. I may reduce the amount. Let's see. I'll be right back.
And that's how this clip is going to end, with him essentially just begging people to give him smaller and smaller increments of money so that he can feel like he earned taking a shot, I guess. It's just sad and pathetic. But like I said, that's going to be the end. I really hope all of you enjoyed watching DSP eat this sandwich. I know it wasn't the most exciting thing on the planet, but I hope you had fun nonetheless. Big shout out to Duty Streams for the clip. I really appreciate it, brother. Thank you, thank you. And a big shout out to everybody who watched the video, especially those of you who have made it this far. I really do appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. Hopefully I'll catch all of you guys in the next video, but until then, make sure that you check out other detractor channels and dive deeper into that. Snortex.